Hello, small business growth family. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. I am so happy that you're here. Today we're going to teach you guys a little bit about community building and that essential piece that you might be missing. If you are new here, I just want to take a second to welcome you and say hello. My name is Madison Page. I am a business growth specialist, helping you learn how to stand out and sell out on social media by building a ride or die community around your brand. Community is truly that major element to business growth. It creates longevity. There is so much around community building that is truly the secret sauce of success. No matter if your business has 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers, 100,000 followers, it doesn't matter. Your community is your strongest asset, and that is what we are all about here. But we really love to teach in a fun, conversational type of way, kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie. No talking at you like those other talk show style podcasts. This is a hyper conversational podcast where it's you and I, we're sitting and we're having a real conversation. If you didn't know, we have transitioned on to YouTube as well. So if you're listening and you traditionally listen on our podcast, on Spotify or Apple, you can now click the link in the show notes and watch it on YouTube. And I've had a lot of people starting to say that that really is their favorite new way to listen or watch the podcast because it's way more personal. Makes it feel like you are actually sitting and chatting with me face to face, having other conversations as well. So you can head on over there and we can chat. And I would love to provide this for you in a more fun and hyper conversational type of medium. So head over to YouTube. The link is in the show notes. But without further ado, make sure that you are subscribing to the podcast. We put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, I know so many people don't want to do that anymore just because you can just search it up, whether you're on the podcast or you're on YouTube. You have no idea how much it does impact what other videos and things like that you get offered, as well as it does help us as well. So make sure that if you love the podcast, you give us a subscribe. And without further ado, let's jump on in to talk about some community building. So if you've never listened to anything about community building in business, really it is truly your strongest asset. If you look at some of these brands that have really strong brand communities like Harley Davidson, like Jeep, like Lego, there are like Apple. Like Apple is a little bit more commodity at this point. Like so many people have Apple devices, but there are people that are like ride or die Apple. People that are sitting outside of the Apple store for like 3 days before the new iPhone comes out. Those are the people we're talking about. Those are their ride or die people. I have clients that have 5,000 people in a Facebook group, and they are some of the strongest communities that I have seen in business. It can be tight-knit, it can be small, it can be large, whatever that is. Whether you focus on community building from the start, you will see success faster. You will see success that lasts. Why that is because that when you build a community, it means you're building a community around people that connect to you. As the business owner, they love what you stand for and they love what you have to do. And these people will move and shake with you. If you want to adjust the products that you're selling, if you're sick of selling the art that you're selling, or you're like, maybe I'll add this other line, it allows you to scale because you can add any of those other things into your strategy and people will still come. People will still want to buy it because of what we're talking about today is that they are all built around this shared value inside of your community. So when I talk about the major missing piece of community building, there are so many people that are out there talking about community building. This is something that I have been preaching for like 10 years, and is building this relationship marketing behind your business. It really is the secret to it. What that means is that it's taking people that are from all over the place and giving them a place to not only engage with you, but to feel like they are involved in something, to feel like they're involved in something bigger than what it really is. So this isn't an ideal customer. You do need an ideal customer in your business. I know that you might be like, but everybody could benefit from my product, but I want everybody to have it. I really don't want to diss people. You need an ideal customer, honey. I promise. I am 100% for the ideal customer. At some point, you can expand. There's more than one ideal customer in every ideal customer. That's for a different episode. But you do need an ideal customer. Even to build a community, you need an ideal customer. But we're not talking about that today. We're not talking about building community with certain, like with collaboration, or to build community around an influencer. I'm not saying that you need to put your face out there. Again, very helpful for community building. Collaboration is very helpful for community building. I have full programs that will help you build a community. And there's a lot of strategy to it. There's a lot of strategy around the content you're posting, how you get people involved in your community, and everything that you do. However, what we're talking about today is the major missing piece. The major center point of your community is having a meaning around your brand. So you are here because you have a brand. You're not here because you have a small business. You are here because you have a brand. And if you don't know the difference between a small business versus a brand, I have a podcast episode in the past about that. It's on Spotify and Apple. It's not on YouTube yet. We're in the process of re-recording it, so you can have one on YouTube as well. But it is all about really looking at this shared value. If you look at any community that's out there, they have a shared value, whether it's religion, whether it's sports, whether it is family. Like a lot of times it is all centered around shared values. Can you build a community of friends without some shared value? You meet people and you're like, they're great. We just don't have too much in common. The major root behind connection is truly shared values. There's a lot, that's why businesses have like very strong values sometimes, is because they have shared values and they want to create that connection point. And so the people that I see that do this poorly as to why they don't have engagement on social media and they're really struggling with their community is because they're putting their focus of their business actually around their product. Your focus of your business is, look at how great my product is, go and buy it. Look at how cute this is, you need it. Oh my gosh, this bag is just the best, or these earrings are like, have you ever seen something more beautiful and you need it? Go to the website, check it out. That content is not building community around anything. It is just you saying, I love my own product, you should too, go and buy it. That is not going to build connection. That's not going to build engagement. And frankly, it's not going to build a business. It's not going to build a business. It's not going to make sales. Some people, if you have a pretty enough product or you have a unique enough product, that can work, but it's not going to work forever. It's not going to hold longevity to it. So a industry that saw this a lot was polymer clay earrings. Polymer clay earrings spiked. Any of those like major crafty products that have this huge trend and then they have a big downfall, the ones that last are the ones that built a community and had something so unique around their brand, around a shared value and a shared meaning, that they lasted. The ones that were just like, look at how cute these are, you need to go and buy it, they might get some sales, but they're going to crash and burn hard, because the minute somebody doesn't like that product anymore, or that they're not trendy and you don't adapt, they're still going to be there. I have a lot of clients that come to me and they're like, Maddie, I used to make $200,000 a month. I had somebody the other day say, I used to make $200,000 a month in my business and I'm down to 20 and I don't understand it. I haven't changed anything. And I said, well, truly, your product is out of date and you haven't adapted your messaging to keep it trendy. And so you need to understand that if you have this shared value around your brand, this is always what you go back to. So your shared value might be, bringing bold to the simple, or something that makes your brand different, some sort of shared value. I'm not just saying like, I donate to this charity. I'm not just saying that this is what a shared value is, that you are a mom. I'm not saying that your shared value is that you love dogs or that you drink coffee in the morning. I'm saying your product means something deeper than just putting on a pair of earrings. It signifies something. There is a meaning behind it, whether it's the spirituality. I think a really good example of somebody that's adding a shared value behind a product that doesn't need it is candles that have like Virgo on them, or like Pisces or whatever. They have the astrology, or astrology signs. Astrology? Yeah. Not astronomy, astrology. They have the astrology signs on it. Like, that is taking a candle and niching it down into a shared value that now those people would like it more. So it's finding the smaller niche, the smaller meaning, and the smaller message. And if you were like, Maddie, there really isn't a meaning behind my product, make it. If it's not that deep, make it that deep. And that's something that I hear a lot is people are like, well, Maddie, I just sell clothes, or I just sell earrings, or I sell notepads, or I'm just selling art. Like, what's the meaning is that they're buying from me. And that is the case. There's points there. Some people can be successful on that, but you really have to do it well, and you have to do it strategically. What do you all have in common? What do you all value? So you need to know your ideal customer to understand your benefit, or you need to know your benefit and that major value in order to actually even create that ideal customer. So right now, if you don't have this, you actually have no foundation to building a community. And so you need to look deeper at your business and say, what is the actual purpose behind buying my soap? Is it that I'm creating little luxuries in my everyday life? Or is it that it signifies something deeper? Or is it that it has aromatherapy benefits to it, that when you use it, you actually feel a certain way? Or when you're buying home decor, deeper than home decor, what is the meaning there? Is it creating the coziest space possible? Are you using it for like the dopamine decor trend that you deserve to have decor that makes you happy? You need that deeper meaning. So if you are building a business around celebrating the colorful things in your day-to-day life, that then when you're creating art around the colorful things, you can then expand into prints, you can then expand into clothing, you can then expand into socks, because you've already built the shared value around loving color. And so you need that shared value in order to have scalability, as to have options, because right now, your business is probably not the same business that you will have in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years. When your business becomes successful, because you are always growing, people as humans, we're constantly growing. Because that is the case, that means that you need to build a business that is allowed to adapt to your new ideas, your scalability, your changing, and your growth. Without that, you're just like trying to sell somebody a product that you might want to change. So this is something I see a lot where people are like, I really want to be selling these things, but this is what sells. It's because you've built a business around what sells. You're not building a business around an idea so you can sell all of those things. So if you really want to build a community, you need this major meaning behind your brand. You need some sort of message. You need some sort of shared value that you can create. This is something that people do not do very often, and it's really one of the major things inside of Product to Profit, which is my signature program to get you to consistent sales that we work on week one. Week one, call one, day one. I ask you, what's your meaning behind your brand? What makes your business different? And if you don't have one, we make one. We make a cute little benefit statement, and we make sure that it is strong and it's not something that is done out there all of the time. Now, I see it a lot where like the jewelry brands are like adding intention behind your jewelry. Like, that's great, yes, but how many people now have jewelry that has intention behind it? You need something that's a little bit different. Your industry and your product is only as saturated as your branding allows it to be. This is a major part of your brand. The shared value that your entire audience has is the major part of your brand that is the cornerstone of your community. Because then you can always go back and you can provide like this value, this shared value knowledge. You can do so many things with this shared value, and it allows you to move and adapt and have other options within your community. So if this has not yet even come close to convincing you that you need to focus on building a community around this shared value, of course, there's content that goes into this. There's ideal customers that go into this. There's a lot of strategy behind building a community, but we can't even focus on building a community without having this shared value. This is why day one, week one, we focus on this inside of Product to Profit. This is my signature program to get you to consistent sales and a ride or die community around your brand on social. And you will have all of the strategy in your pocket to do those things, is that you need this shared value. Honestly, you don't even really have a business that's built for success or built for it to last without a shared value, without this for community. You need this, especially if you have a product that doesn't have something that's that's inherently unique. If you have clothing, if you have like products that are out there and there's so many options and it is a really saturated industry, you need this even more so. Those are oftentimes the products that are like, well, there's not really a benefit. Like people don't really need it, But those are a lot of times, if you have that feeling, you probably have a product that you need this even more. Because if you have something that is completely unique or that's filling a major gap in the market or that hasn't really been done before, you can differentiate on that difference maker, on that uniqueness. But you can't differentiate on, I sell clothing, I sell trendy clothing. There's nothing differentiated on that. Why would somebody pick you over Target? You need to understand why that is and what your major points are. And I think a lot of people look at this shared value, and they actually look more at features. You need benefits, which are two very different things. So there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of strategy that goes into this, but I'm here to tell you, if you don't have it, you need one. You need one. If it is something that you're interested in, you can click the link in the show notes and apply for PTP. We start after January. In January, mid-January, we start. And this is truly a program that has helped dozens of people quit their 9-to-5, dozens of people quit after the program, as well as inside of the 3 months. This program helps you understand fully what a strategy is around your business, as well as how to get to consistent sales and how to build the ride or die community around your brand that you have been looking for. If you are community focused and you're heart focused, PTP is the option for you to really get to consistent sales prior to really getting a head start on your 2024 goals. We start in January and they do sell out. We sell out every round. This is our signature program. It is our most popular program because the strategy works. The results speak for themselves, and that leads me to our client success story of the day around the topic that we're talking about, this community building element. I have a client that she had an audience there already. She had an audience. I think she had probably like 7,000 people in her, like all of her reaches, from Facebook to Instagram to her whatever, to her Facebook page, to her group, to all of the different things, her email list. And she came to me and she had super inconsistent sales. She would make $300 here and $1,000 here and $600 here. But she really couldn't figure it out because she had the people in front of her. Why was she not selling? The number one thing we focused on was adding a shared value and building a community around her brand. We got these people so engaged and ready to buy that with just a little bit of strategy around her brand inside of PTP, she was making $3,000 launches borderline every week. And so she had very consistent sales. Her sales, honestly, like from her high point, quadrupled month over month within 6 to 8 weeks inside of the program, because we put this strategic focus behind the shared value, behind the community that she has already built, and we built on top of it with aligned content and with a better launch strategy. And so she was able to finally bring in those consistent sales. She understood what she was doing and what results she was looking for, and she got the whole strategy around how to do it and how to repeat it. Now she has a team of 4+ people, and she runs an incredibly successful business online, and she has probably one of the most engaged communities of anybody that I've seen. And like truly, from a percentage wise, her return customer rate, her average order value, people that have ordered from her that have spent, like, she has like $17 to $47 items, have spent $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 on her product because they love her business. They ride for her and they're there for it. It's possible to build a community around your brand. It is possible, and it's possible without a very huge following. She's got 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in her audience, and she's able to make well into 6 figures every year. It's possible for you. She's quit her 9-to-5 and is able to do it full time. So client success story of the week with the thing that we were talking about is that client that went from super inconsistent sales, $0 to $600 to $1,000 maybe here and there, to consistently selling $3,000, selling out in minutes of her first couple of launches. And then we increased her inventory, and she knows how to do it, and she knows how to repeat it, and she's been able to do it really consistently now. So it's possible for you. Community is your biggest asset in your business. Make sure that you're subscribed here to get more information and to keep building this community. Otherwise, if you're like, no, Maddie, I'm in, click the link in the show notes to apply for PTP. That we start in January 15th, I believe. And it truly is the program that will help you build this ride or die community and get to consistent sales around your brand. If you are trying to scale your sales, community is still a really great way to re-engage your audience and get there as well. Come hang out with me on Instagram @thisismadisonpage. Send me a DM and we can talk about how to scale your sales as well. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you subscribe. We put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. It helps us and it helps you to subscribe to the podcast. You get better, more aligned options, or what are those like? Recommendations. That's the word. You get more aligned recommendations, as well as you're helping us out and getting this podcast out to more people. Go ahead and watch on YouTube. We have a lot of things going on in this community. You can watch on YouTube. We're launching PTP again in January for probably our 6th in a row sold out launch. We already have people in it since October and November. And we're so excited to get a head start on your 2024 goals with you. So click the links in the show notes. Go check them out. I'm here for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always.